Children do not decide the outcomes of family court cases. This has been coming up a lot over the last few days on my social media channels and group, and I feel like it's something that is frequently misunderstood. My child said they didn't want contact, and so the court ordered no contact. Clearly the child decided it, right? No. And this is something that people get wrong all the time. Now, the child's wishes and feelings absolutely matter. They're actually one of the factors in the child welfare checklist, but that's the point. They are one factor. The court is legally bound to look at the welfare of a child as a whole. So it looks at their wishes and feelings, yes, but also their physical, emotional and educational needs, the likely effect of any change, their age and circumstances, any harm or risk of harm, and how capable each parent is of meeting their needs. This is in law. In fact, it's literally Section 1 of the Children Act 1989, which is still the most important piece of legislation within child proceedings. Now, will the child actually be spoken to? Usually, but not always. Where the newer child-focused courts model is operating, there are earlier opportunities for children to have their wishes and feelings heard. But that still doesn't mean that every child gets sat down and interviewed. A very young child, for example, might be observed rather than actually asked what they want. And no, there isn't a magic age where suddenly the child gets to decide. It's not a Gillick competence test either. Their age and understanding affect how much weight the court gives their views. So an older child's wishes might carry a lot of weight, but even then, they're not legally determinative. And this is the bit that I really want people to understand. If the child says, "I don't want to see Dad," and the court eventually orders no direct contact, it could look as though the child said no, so the court said no. But that isn't what happened. The court still had to consider the whole welfare checklist and make its own decision about what was best for that child. The fact that the final decision matched what the child wanted does not mean that the child's view made that decision. Their wishes and feelings may have been an important part of why the court got there, but they weren't the only factor. So in simple terms, the child gets a voice. The child does not automatically get to decide. And if you want to see how this plays out when the child is actually refusing contact, episode 11 of Family Court, You Be the Judge is linked below.